Yes, people, welcome back to Albert JTV, Albert Talks Podcast, episode 6. Let's kick in the intro. Yes, people, welcome back to Albert JTV, Albert Talks Podcast, episode 6, with a slight difference. Obviously, we're going to talk about our beloved Arsenal, but as you guys will know with my content, I am a football lover first and foremost. So we're going to get some guys on from other clubs on. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll join in, and we'll talk all things football as well as Arsenal. But as you can see, I'm not alone. I have my special guest with me, my fellow Gooner, RJ Wills. Guys, Ryan, thank you for being my wingman for tonight. We get a lot to get through. I've got no idea how long this is going to last for, but we'll see how we go, man. But introduce the guy. Tell us where they can find you. And thanks for joining me, mate.
No problem, man. Anytime. Guys, you can find me, of course, with Albert. Anytime he invites me on. You can find me on Mr. Arsenal podcast as well, do your watch-alongs. But, of course, my content is Ryan Williams AFC on YouTube. And, of course, you want to get in contact with me, guys. I'm very, very, very honest about Arsenal and football in general. RJ Wills on Twitter. Hit me up, guys.
Brilliant. No, I appreciate you coming on again, man, being my wingman for tonight.
Anytime.
But guys, you can follow me on my social media at the top of the overlay on Twitter and Instagram. But if you guys don't know already, this is what you do. And there you have it. So Ryan, yeah, man, we's on Mr. Arsenal podcast channel. Big shout out to Ryan and the guys, Melvin, Joel, DWT, Gary. Who else is on? Did I miss anybody else out, Ryan? I can't remember now. Who else? I think that's it. Oh yeah, and Russ. Sorry, big Russ, Arsenal Central. It'll be coming on later. Don't worry, man. So guys, what I'll do is I'll send the link out to you if you want to join us on the podcast show for tonight. I want to get through my guests, hopefully, if they'll come on at the times they're supposed to come on. And I'll bring in some Arsenal fans towards sort of the back end of the show. And I'll have somebody coming, hopefully, very soon in the next 5 or 10 minutes. But before I get into that, guys, smash the like button, please, straight away. Like I said, share and comment and subscribe to the channel and follow my guy, RJ Wills, on his channel. And yeah, support the Arsenal community, man. But yeah, Ryan, let's talk about the game yesterday. FA Cup, man. Home tie against Newcastle.
Favorite trophy.
Yeah, as you guys know, let me get the picture up. Record 14 FA Cup wins. That was a joyous moment come August 1st last year. How time flies, Ryan. How time flies. But I want to get your thoughts a little bit about the game, or a lot about the game, either way we look at it. Now, before I come to you, my kind of thoughts or feelings about the game. I didn't think it was going to be a great game to watch anyway, just for the simple fact that with Arsenal, you never know what Arsenal you're going to get. That's the first thing. Anybody who watches a lot of football outside of just watching Arsenal, I mean, within the Premier League in terms of other teams, I've seen quite a bit of Newcastle this season. And I'll tell you something, man. It's a hard watch, mate. So I knew it wasn't going to be a pretty game, if I'm being honest. So, right, before I sort of get deep into it, what did you make of the team lineups? Let's take it from there.
Interesting. Few faces I kind of expected to see in terms of Willian, Pepe, David Luiz, more of those type of players coming back into the side. So, wasn't really surprised. just
Before you
unfortunate
carry
about
on, sorry, Ryan. Before you carry on, just before you finish, come into it a bit more. Sorry.
Yeah,
What
no
about the
worries.
formation? Was you surprised or
Not
4-2-3-1?
really. I think that's been it's the kind of formation I wanted us to go from the start of the season, really. And I was
Yeah,
actually happy that Mikel was actually sticking to it. So
yeah,
it's just all about the options and who putting in certain places like Joe Willock alongside El Neni, which was a concern for me, to be
yeah,
honest, because I used to complain about. I remember when Ramsey used to play alongside Xhaka in the formation when Wenger
yeah,
was around, and that
yeah.
used to concern the hell out of me. So
Mm.
formation I was pretty happy and satisfied with, to be honest. What about yourself?
Um, the formation is not an issue for me. I looked at the lineup and I think I did say to you on Ryan's live stream. I did it also on my Instagram live with Arsenal Ross about 2 days ago. And we're talking about the players that we don't want to see playing or starting, should I say? I
Yeah.
said with Aubameyang, in regards to Aubameyang, I think I actually had no issue with him starting yesterday. Because the thing is, I know people talk about the Premier League and the importance of the Premier League, but this guy's been out of form for a long time, man. So irrespective of Premier League or Europa League or FA Cup, this guy needs a goal. Like I said, it needs it. If it comes in off his backside or his knee, just get him a goal. But I had no problem with him starting. That was the first thing. Who I didn't want to see start, and I actually said this on another Arsenal fans channel on the Friday night, and I said, you know what? There's part of me, and it's not hindsight. I did say at the time that I actually don't want to see Martinelli start.
Mm.
It's unfortunate he didn't play the game. He got injured in the warm up, which looked quite innocuous. But hopefully it's not as serious as it is. But we'll find out a bit more detail. But I actually didn't want him playing. I didn't want Tierney starting, but he did. So fair play. I didn't want Saka or Emma Smith Rowe to start. So I kind of got 2 out of 3. So I just think to myself, if Ainsley can't get a game in an FA Cup third round tie at home against Newcastle, like when can he start? So yeah, bruv, I wasn't too disheartened with the team lineup because you know what? One thing we've kind of said, and I want to get your thoughts on Mikel Arteta in terms of team selection or giving people a chance. I actually thought the team we picked yesterday was some of the individuals that were playing, just going through the team now, looking at it now, starting 11. He's almost giving them enough rope to hang themselves. Because if you're not in a team or you've been playing in a team, but you've not been playing well, it's for your time to shine and put pressure on the manager to pick you for the first 11 going forward into Premier League games. So yeah, what did you make of? I'm going to come to a couple of players before going to it. What did you make? What have you made of Pablo Mari yesterday? And from what you've seen in the last, was it 3 or 4 games?
Well, including this game, I think it's about 4. But I mean, to be honest with me, I think we can slightly have a little bit more of a viewing of him now. He seems okay. I mean, we've been pretty solid since he's been in, to be honest, which is actually quite positive. Of course, he did concede that penalty against Chelsea, but did we put that to tired legs and he tried to overstretch for it? But overall, I think he's been actually very good, and I've said this even on my own channel. I think he's making it very hard for Gabriel, who's been our best centre back this season so far. Very hard to challenge for him to get back into it. So I've got to say, Pablo Mari's doing a very good job. So far, so good. Because I don't want to get carried away with some of these Arsenal players, man. We say they're good for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then 45 minutes later, it's like, oh, God. But Barry right now, he's getting a pass, which is looking good. So, yeah. Yourself?
Yeah. Before I come on to it, guys, like I said, smash the like button, drop your comments in. If you've got any questions, I will definitely try and incorporate them into the chat. I've put the StreamYard link in the chat. So, guys, just be patient with me. If you do want to come on, I'll definitely try and get you on. But bro, in regards to Mari, he's done well considering the length of time he's been out. And Arsenal, within the Arsenal sort of fan base, they're posing the question to each other that, who's gonna be the regular partner for Gabriel when he comes back in, because he will come back in, like irrespective of people's purple patches or how well they've been playing. Gabriel's our best defender. Let's be honest. So I don't have an issue with playing two centre backs that have left footed. I've got no issue with that.
Mikel, man.
Again, with Pablo Mari, it's his positioning. I guess that's the thing I look at defenders. I think I said it to you or somebody else. People get obsessed with defenders having pace, like centre backs, and there's not too many I've seen in world football who have a lot of pace. And Ryan, I'm going back like over 25 years of football. I'm going way back in. I'm old enough to remember people like Des Walker and Yap Stam. These guys had a turn of pace. Even Martin Keown had a little bit of pace to him as well. But yeah, it's good. There's it. Let me see. Let me go to the chat. Give me 2 seconds, Ryan. I'm going to come to you again because I want to talk about the first half performance in particular. Yeah. Who's that? Is it Arsenal? Ross is in the chat. Arsenal Ross, thank you, bro. Omar Alan, how can I join the voice call? Omar, what you do is I've put the StreamYard link in the chat, or I don't know if you're on Instagram or Twitter, inbox me. I'll put the overlay back on the screen, mate, and you'll be able to see it. We've got a chat there. Yes, Clegg's in the house. Good old JC. Cheers, bro. Yeah, Ryan. First off, oh dear, we managed to stay awake. So, yeah, what did you make of the first half performance, mate? Before you come into that, I'm going to bring in my brother in the stream, Tade.
Hey, what's up?
Yes, my bro. Thanks for coming in, man.
You all right?
Not bad. Yeah, we're just talking over yesterday's win against Newcastle, my friend. I'm gonna bring you in just in a minute after my guy Ryan. I'm gonna ask you, Ryan, about the first half in particular. What did you make of it from an Arsenal perspective?
Okay, I mean, the first half for me, it was just boring. I'm not gonna lie. I just felt it was boring. Like I said in my channel with a review, I said I felt like watching the Arsenal before we played Chelsea. Just a bit slow, just not enough in it for me, not enough in the gas tank, and I felt it was just a boring half. I don't know what else to say, really. Do you know what I mean? It's just nothing that just made me think, no, it's just, I don't know, very unfulfilling, I don't know what else to say. Honestly, it was bad. It was a bad first half.
Don't worry, I'll add more to that. But Tade, I want to bring you in, mate. Just want to get your thoughts on. I want to sort of take it back a tiny bit. I want to get your thoughts on the team lineup. Was you happy with the personnel and the team formation? And sort of adding to that, what did you make of the first half performance in particular from Arsenal, Tade, bro?
Right. I mean, for me, I didn't have a problem with the formation. I didn't have a problem with the starting lineup. I mean, as fans, everyone expects the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe and the likes of Martinelli. Unfortunately, he's got injured. They expect the likes of Saka to start all the games, but there's certain things fans don't really pay attention to, which is one of the things that frustrates me. When you have a team of 25 men, you need to try as much as possible to make some people happy. You can't just put people on the bench. Secondly, there's a reason why you have a large squad, so that you can rest some players. There's also a reason why you just have to mix things up for a bit of balance. And one thing people need to understand is, as a manager, you're going to be dealing with this disgruntled staff member, the players and all that. So you just need to balance it up. I had no problem with that. I mean, unfortunately, Martinelli is injured now. I just hope it's not as bad as it looks.
It didn't look good. Yeah,
it didn't look good. I've had one of those injuries before, and it took me 3 months to get back to myself. Because if you see the clip, it was really bad. It looked really bad. In terms of the first half performance, I mean, I would say that we had a couple of chances. We had the one with Aubameyang, which I don't know if he should have scored that. The one that it was a quite difficult position from where he took the shot. The keeper pointed it out. We had one that was delivered to Nelson. Nelson should have put a stab into the net. He was trying to do a first touch and then he lost out. There was another one where Pepe had the chance. He was trying to dribble the man and he pushed it out to corner. I think those are the three main highlights I saw in the first half, in my opinion. And apart from that, it was a bit boring. I'm not gonna lie, but I will still say we should have buried some of those chances. We should have done a bit better with them in the first half, and that's my take on it. At the end of the day, we won the game. So
100%. Tade, because the thing is, you know what it is? When I like after a couple of days before the game, I did a preview. There's been a lot of transfer talk about Arsenal, but in regards to Balogun's future, and I said that if he's not even in the squad for the game yesterday, he's not going to be here, man. Like I think people might say it's a thing of the agent playing games, but I think it's telling when you've got 9 subs. It's not great, man. And the guy didn't even make the squad. But Taddy, I just want to quickly ask you before I come back to Ryan again. When I saw the first half performance from my point of view, what consistently does concern me is the midfield area. I know we're missing Thomas Partey, but I don't know if you noticed it, Tade, and Ryan as well. When the centre backs have got the ball, there's 2 things that happen. The centre backs either bypass the midfield completely and go straight to the strikers, or when they do get over the halfway line, they still bypass the midfield players and go straight to the strikers. The transition from our midfield to the attack is still a consistent problem. Yes, we've won 4 games on the bounce, but I look at the bigger picture and see the patterns of play, and that's a massive concern for me. So the sooner Thomas Partey comes back, the better. But
right, so
I mean, go on, mate.
Yeah, just to answer that question, I think first and foremost, football for me is not black and white as it looks. The opponent you're playing also determines how your players move on the pitch, right? In terms of whether defenders are bypassing the midfielders to get the ball to the strikers, it all depends on how much pressing the oppositions are doing on top of, our defense. So it makes it very difficult for the likes of El Neni to go in and get the ball. We've seen several times where El Neni or Xhaka even always goes deep to actually get the ball from the defenders. But if he's marked or something, then you just have to either kick it in or bypass that midfield. But it depends on the opposition. If they're doing their job well, closing down the players in the midfield, it makes it very, very, very difficult for them to be able to play out the back the way we want to play out the back. Secondly, you have to look at the personnel in Arsenal Football Club. I've noticed that Mari and Luis, who are the 2 centre mids yesterday, they know how to locate the strikers. They're quite good passing from deep. They have the vision and all of that. So I mean, in football, like I said, it's not blue and black. So it's not black and white. Sorry. So you can't really expect them to always have a template of playing. No. If they see that someone is making a run and they can't give that pass, then I would say go for it. Do you know what I mean? I've seen a lot of times where they actually give it to the midfielders, but it all depends. Remember the Brighton game? I think there were a couple of times that El Neni almost cost us a goal there twice. I think when they gave it to him deep. Why? Because he was pressured. So either they don't trust them, to buttress your point, or it's just a case of, listen, if they see that this guy is marked, they know that this guy can't be trusted. I'd rather just kick it to someone that's making the run. So I think it's a bit of everything mixed up together, the opponents and the ability of the midfielders as well. So that's my take on that.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. I'm gonna come to. I was meant to get Kendall on. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it to get a Newcastle perspective. But guys, I've put the guys' Twitter handles on the screen, so please follow them on their social media, and also please go and subscribe to the channels. We need to support the football community as well as the Arsenal community. There's the pie is big enough for everybody. Trust me. But yeah, I'm gonna bring in a Man United fan here at the moment. I'm gonna bring in Dan. Dan.
Hey guys, how are we doing?
How's things, man?
Yeah, mate. We're potentially 3 points clear at the top, mate. I'm in Wonderland. Honestly, the wife could leave me tomorrow. I don't care. I'm done. I'm living the dream. How are we all?
Yeah. No, we're good. Now, Dan, appreciate coming on, mate. I was saying to Ryan before we went live and before Tadej come on that, as much as we support our own clubs, we have our own passions for our own clubs. It's good to collaborate and you know what I mean, get the football community together and support each other's channels. So luckily I met this. I'll give all the viewers a little bit of a story of how I met Dan. The great guys of Villa together got a lot of rival football fans together to do a greatest ever Premier League 11. Tade and Ryan, you'll be proud of me, man. I managed to get 3 Arsenal players in there, man.
Oh, mate, wasn't I the main culprit for getting Perez out the team?
I don't know how you did that, man.
Oh,
yeah, I got
God.
just for years. I managed to get Ashley Cole in, even though he's partly Chelsea. I got Vieira in, and I got Thierry Henry in. I tried my hardest to get Tony Adams in, man, but these guys were not having it, man.
So I think Tony Adams. I thought Tony Adams was a decent defender, actually.
Yeah, no, Dan, I'm glad I got you on because Tade will vouch for me and Ryan will vouch for me as Arsenal fans because Twitter world is a hard world sometimes being Arsenal fans. We talk about recruitment, everybody's in the wrong. You talk about the ownership, everyone's in the wrong. Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's got 2 pennies worth. But I like to get other people's opinions about sort of our club. But before I get your thoughts on that, Dan, I want to ask you. You beat Watford yesterday 1-0. McTominay got was it after 5 minutes? Was it
the Superman, the man that's gonna lead us to the promised land? Apparently, yeah.
Was it a comfortable win? And like who'd you fancy in the next round, mate? You say comfortable. It was a terrible game of football. Actually, it was a terrible game of football to watch. Who do I want? I'm one of those United fans. I want to beat the best. So I want the Cities. I want the Liverpools. I want to beat them. You know, if you're going to win the competition, you've got to beat the big boys. So yeah, I really don't care who we get. I mean, I just watched the Spurs game and like. It's a bit of a tough one, isn't it? You actually, I mean, I'm probably in the wrong company saying this, but you kind of feel for the Spurs players in this game because they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. You know, they go out there and put too good of a performance on. People are going to say, bloody hell, come on. You know, they're non-league. You don't really need to be doing that. You go out there and play crap and people are going to mock you. So it's the FA Cup. It's my favourite competition in the world. I take it over every competition. I'm the hopeless romantic with football. Wow. But do you know what, mate? What you just said there about, you know, owners, about players. Do you not think that United and Arsenal are in such a same scenario at the moment? We both don't like the boards. We're both not happy with players coming in, going out. It's a frustrating time, isn't it? Yeah, Dan, I want to ask you. It'd be interesting to know because obviously we're Arsenal fans. We look at it from the outside, but you know you're a Man United fan and you love the club inside and inside out. But what are your thoughts about Ollie, not just this season, but sort of his entirety at Man United? And on top of that, were you ever what camp was you in, or was you not in a camp at all in terms of Ollie out or getting a new manager in? Where was you with that?
Oh, mate, Burnley last season when we lost to Burnley, I was Ollie out. I'd had enough. But the thing is, and I think you guys can agree, you've got to look at the bigger picture. Arteta, for the job that he's got in his hand with you guys, he's got such a big job in the sense that there's players there that need to have gone years ago. Same as United. United have got players that have been stealing and living there for too long. It's one of them. It's a situation. I'm behind Ollie. I think you don't get near top of the table by fluke. People say it's been a shite season, but you can only beat who's in front of you. It's as simple as that. So yeah, I'm quite happy with Ollie at the moment. We'll see where we finish.
Yeah, Dan, I want to ask you one more question. I want to ask you a question about 2 more questions before I let you go, mate. The first one is about what's your views as United fan, banter aside, about Arsenal. Not so much the last 4 games, but what you've seen this season, mate.
Like I said, I've said this to a lot. I've got a lot of friends who are Arsenal fans, and I've said to them, "You've got to stick with Arteta. He's got a job on his hands there. To just get rid of him after half a season where it's not gone your way, I don't think it's correct. I mean, you've got to look at the players in your team, and the one thing you've got to analyse is from the outset, do you see yourselves as a top 6 club at the moment? The players that you have there, realistically. Is Rob Holding gonna take you to the promised land? Players like that. Mustafi, is he on the way out? I think he's on his way out anyway. I think it's almost a reset button needs to happen there. The players, they're not up for it most of the time for you guys. One thing I've always said about Arsenal, the difference between Arsenal from when we had those rivalries back in the late 90s, early noughties, was you had players that would crunch. They'd crunch and they'd give everything, and they would not leave that pitch unless they'd given their all. And there's players in that team I don't think do that enough for you. One player I will say is Kieran Tierney. I absolutely love him. I love watching him. The passion that he shows is what you need in that team.
No, brilliant. No, thanks, Dan. I'm going to get one question for you. I want to come to my two Arsenal guys. Tade, I want to come to you quickly. I want to get your thoughts on. I'm going to say one player in particular of Arsenal at the moment because he's received a lot of criticism this season in terms of his end product and the inconsistencies in his performance. You can talk about he hasn't had a run of games, but what did you make of Nicolas Pepe's performance yesterday? Because I saw quite a mixed bag on Twitter. I got to be honest.
I think his performance was levels above what we've seen in the past from him. In my opinion, it wasn't the best performance you won for 72 million, obviously, but I did think he put in a shift yesterday, which is one of the things I had a problem with him. If you look at the match where Martinelli played and Martinelli was taken off, I think 2 matches or 3 matches ago, is it Brighton or Chelsea now? And then they brought him in. Yeah. You can see there was a big difference in terms of energy levels, in terms of passion, in terms of the I care attitude, and you can just see. But yesterday, I could see a bit more from him yesterday. And what frustrates me about Pepe, really, on a personal level, don't know what you guys think, is he takes a lot of risk. And when you take a lot of risk, and 9 out of 10 times you mess up, then people are not gonna like what you're doing. Yeah. If you take a lot of risk and 9 out of 10 times you succeed, then people are gonna say continue going for it. One thing about him is he's so skillful, but his decision making when he wants to beat a man is what I have a problem with, and this is one of the reasons why he loses the ball a lot. So I think for me, for a player like that, he could be very, very frustrating. And I think what he needs to work on now is to go back to the basics. If he goes back to the basics, it's just like any sport, whether it's tennis. I remember when I used to play tennis and I couldn't even serve anymore. I literally couldn't serve, and it's because I lack of confidence. I couldn't do it anymore. I was trying to do the exotic stuff instead of me to just take the ball and just throw it in. It's same with football, right? If you are lacking in confidence, you're trying to do what you're very good at, and you're still trying to force it, it's not going to come. He needs to go back to the basics, make things simple, and probably he's going to get back to where he belongs. I think that's my take on Pepe, really. There's a talent in there. There is a talent in there. But right now, no one has got the time anymore. No one. If he was under Arsene Wenger, maybe, just maybe, Arsene Wenger will have been able to give him that time to be able to come back, to come back to that confidence level, because we know Arsene Wenger was very patient. Yeah. And we know Arsene Wenger's personality is what makes a lot of people love him, because he's patient, even if you're shit. He was patient with Sanogo for a long time. Yeah. And so, do you know what I mean? So that's just my take on Pepe. I want him to do well, but for now, he's not doing it. Yeah, he's not doing it. You're right.
Tade, because I've got quite a few people in the stream, I'm gonna ask you one more thing before you go. Okay. Is there anyone you want in the next round in particular, or you're not too fussed?
Do you know what? I've not even looked at the what's it called? The chats to know who we're gonna be potentially meeting next. I'm not gonna lie to you. Definitely, I don't want to meet any of the big six. Anybody else?
Yeah. Tade,
one thing I know about Arsenal, one thing I know about Arsenal is if we get to the semi-final, then I don't mind meeting anyone, because then they're going to be charged up. Wembley is our home, people. Come on, you're going to.
Okay. Before you go, bruv, guys, where can they find you where can they find you? Subscribe to your channel or your social media.
Right, what you're seeing right here, Tade Osho Sports. That's my handle on YouTube, and just Tade Osho anywhere else.
Yeah, guys, I've put it along the banner along the screen. So follow my fellow African brother, man. Tade, I appreciate you coming on. I'll speak to you soon, man.
Nice to meet you guys. Bye. Cheers.
Yeah, take care.
Nice to meet you too, man. Take care.
Right, guys, I'm going to add in, Dan, I'm going to come to in a minute. I'm going to add in a Liverpool support here as well at the moment.
Oh, I'm off.
I'm going to come up in a minute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you, mate. Thanks for
coming. Is it all right if I can wear a mask? Just, I don't want people to see me.
No, that's fine. No problem, man. No problem.
Hi. Nice to see you all. How's everyone doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. So what was the topic that we're talking about?
You're a Liverpool fan, so I'm just gonna get you in. So I'll ask you a few questions, mate.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead. Oh, wait,
So
before we carry on, can I just say
yeah.
how dedicated I am? Because otherwise, my Liverpool towel, after me, go sell after looking. Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you had the FA, you had the game on Friday night against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Obviously they had the COVID outbreak at Aston Villa, but I wanted to ask you, with Liverpool this season, particularly in the Premier League, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, particularly in the Premier League. How do you feel you're doing this season? I know you're obviously top of the league on goal difference, but you've done pretty well considering you've got your main centre backs are out in terms of Van Dijk, Gomez, and Matip.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you think Jurgen Klopp will go into the transfer window in January? If so, where would you like to strengthen if possible?
You know what? Honestly, if I'm going to be honest, well, I think that Jurgen Klopp is one of the best managers in the world, right? He understands everything he's doing. Yeah, I understand we've got players injured, players are going to come back. You know, we didn't have a great start to the season, but end of the day, like, fuck around the pussy!
Yeah, enough of that one anyway. Well, let me bring in Chris. Chris, did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy that waiting in the background to hear that?
Yes.
Chris, I've got a question. Is that your natural hair colour?
Yes.
What a guy. What a guy.
Chris, nice to get you on, mate.
Thanks for having me, mate. Really appreciate it.
That's right. I'm glad you're coming on. But yeah, I wanted to ask you, mate, in terms of Villa. Obviously, you had the game against Liverpool. You had a massive COVID outbreak, man. I think I did my research. You had 7 under-23 players out in that game, and you had 4 for the under-18s in that squad for the game against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Was there any youngsters in there that you kind of didn't hear about, or someone that we should look out for in the future? Who played the other night?
So obviously the kind of the main one that people would have heard of beforehand, you know, the Villa fans anyway, would have been the goal scorer Louis Barry. He's a West Brom youngster. He went to Barcelona, so we signed him from Barcelona last year. Clearly, he's got talent. I think for a lot of them, it's a tough one because I think it was something like 85% possession against 15% possession. There's a few lads there who I think Dominic Revan, who I think statistically was our man of the match. He was the captain for us on the night. He put in a good shift, and he's been on the bench for us a few times. Mainly in the Championship, to be fair. I think the only other one is a lad called Hayden, who played right midfield. He's more of a right back, to be fair. He's a good player. He's been one of the standout. To be fair, as bad as it was, there was that wasn't our strongest youth side that we had out. There's a couple of lads.
Really? Okay.
There's a couple of lads who were missing. So for our under 23s that play in the under 23 league, so to speak, is mainly under 18 lads. And there's a couple of guys who are missing. So alongside Louis Barry, there's a lad who plays centre midfielder. I'm not sure how to pronounce his surname, but it's Carney Chukwuemeka. I'm not sure how you pronounce his surname.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, man.
Yeah. And, so he's 16, and he's probably close. He's a tall guy, and Christian Perslow, our CEO, said within the last 12 months he's probably the best 16-year-old in the country. And if you watch him play, he is one hell of a talent. And I think when it first came out that potentially we were going to play under 23s, a lot of people were like, yeah, okay, Louis Barry, he's going to be the one to watch, but also Carney, because you watch him, he's big guy, silky on the ball, really good. And there's another guy, again, I can't think how you pronounce his surname as well, but another winger that we've got who kind of, so these guys, they missed out because they've been training with the first team. So obviously they're part of that bubble, and whether they got COVID or whether it was a case that they couldn't play because obviously a number of the first team players got COVID, so they were obviously self-isolating. But But yeah, there's a few lads. I say quite a few. That all of the 16 that played for us on Friday night, they kind of did themselves proud. In all fairness, you're coming up against, the champions of England.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure what to. So I did a couple of pre-match kind of podcasts with some Liverpool fans leading up to the game. I wasn't sure what team we'd field. A lot of the Liverpool fans thought it would be a weakened Liverpool side. And in all fairness, I think out of their 16, 12 of them, are or were, have played international football.
Yeah.
Which I think he kind of, okay, in all fairness, I know people might look at it and think, well, Klopp knew who he'd come up against, but those lads, it's a massive experience for them, and they're going to want to play against Mane and Salah and Firmino and, Fabinho and all those kind of lads. So it's good for them. But unfortunately, it's one that I think a lot of people probably last week, Villa fans probably thought, you know what, we could probably do Liverpool here. Yeah. But obviously, unfortunately, because of the situation, it's a game that we ended up losing quite heavily. The score, credit to the lads, but the scoreline probably flatters Villa slightly, I think, because, considering that the chances they had, keeper made a few good saves, to be fair. Keeper had a good game. I think there's at least one, possibly two under 23 goalkeepers that are better than that guy, who are out on loan. So again, wasn't our strongest kind of youth side, in all fairness, but yeah, it's just a good experience for them. Obviously it's disappointing to lose, but it's just, it's a good experience. It's also, I think it's good for Villa fans to see. You want to see the youth coming through, and I suppose it's kind of exciting in a way. There's 16 lads there who've played. There's a squad of 20, and there'll probably only be 2 or 3 of them that will make it. So for those guys to play in that game, to play against Salah and all that lot, it's just great for them. So it's just good to see, really. Obviously, you don't want to lose, but it's one of those things, isn't it? The situation that they found themselves in at the moment. So
yeah, of course. No, I was impressed, man. Like I said, I was shocked when I saw it. I said 7 of that squad was under 7 of them under 23, and then, like I said, 4 under 18s.
Yeah.
RJ, you must have been impressed by the youngsters of Villa, man, taking on a Liverpool side of that quality, and on top of that as well, they obviously was going to tire, but yeah, as like Chris said, it's some great guys for the future, man.
You got to be impressed with them. Even just in general with Aston Villa this season, they've been very impressive, and to see what's even below the first team, as a Villa fan, you've got to be excited for the future. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah, straight. I feel, let me ask you a question, Chris.
Yep.
Going forwards, is there anyone in that team that you feel could be the shining star to next come up?
Yeah, I think the obvious one is Louis Barry. Like I say, we signed him from Barcelona, so Barcelona have seen something in him to take him there from West Brom. Out of the lads that played the other night, Dominic Revan could possibly, because he's quite a big guy, so physically he could probably step up to play first team football. You had the lad Hayden, who usually plays right back but played right wing. Possibly he could. He seems to be. A couple of these lads have been training with the first team every so often. Obviously, there's some of the better ones. So I mentioned the lad Carney Chuck Wuameka.
You did well, man. You did well.
Never going to be able to pronounce that one, but he's, if you watch him play, he stands out a mile. I think he'll be one of the few to make it, in all fairness. And there's Jaden Philogene Bidace. Again, I struggle to pronounce him. He's another one who's been training with the first team. He's a winger. But yeah, I think out of the lads that played the other night, Louis Barry's probably going to be one of maybe 2 or 3 that will make it. And credit to him, he had one. I think he had 17 touches.
Yeah. The
other night, he had 1 shot and he scored. And he's done it against the champions of England. So fair play to him. But like I say, it's one of them. Like, obviously, the quality came through for Liverpool. They're a much better side. They're going to be a much better side against these lads. But just credit to them, because they stuck to it, and you could see the way they were playing. They were just throwing their bodies at the ball, and they put their bodies on the line to try and get something out of the game, and they loved it. And that's it's kind of it's nice. It's heartwarming to see. It shows. I suppose it shows the other sides of football aside from winning and all that kind of stuff. So now it was Louis Barrow will be the one, but credit to the lads, like I say.
No, much appreciated. Dan, I'm gonna come to you, mate, because I've got quite a few people to stream. I want to ask you a couple of questions before I let you go, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Now, first, I appreciate you coming on, guys. You can see the guys' Twitter handles on the banner going below. Please go and follow them on social media on Twitter and subscribe to their channel. Like I said, football community. Dan, I want to ask you, mate. What do you make out of what would you give Man United's mark out of the season so far at 10? And also, transfer wise, incoming and outgoing, do you expect to see any activity, mate?
Out of 10, I mean, look, judging it on the Premier League, you've got to give them 9 at least. I mean, to be up there, it's...
I would say 8, mate, personally, but that's all right.
Oh man, yeah. Well, ask me after Burnley. Ask me after Burnley on Tuesday. We always seem to muddle it all up against Burnley. So let's wait for that. But transfers wise, Phil Jones, as much as it pains me to say, he'll be gone. He's off. He's
got to stay. Keep him.
I've tried everything to keep the guy going. Coming in, I don't know, mate. I don't see us needing too much at the moment. I don't want them to upset the balance of the team. That group of players seem to be playing really well with each other at the moment. So I don't want someone to come in and disrupt it. Gun to head, I'd probably say a pacey centre back, because he doesn't seem to. Eric Bailly can't stay fit. It's a known fact. He can't stay fit. He's quality, but he can't stay fit. And he doesn't seem to fancy Tuanzebe. We've got Van der Beek, who still to me is just a brand new signing because he's played like 6 minutes of football all season. So I'm not really bothered in January about anyone coming in. I think it's more a job just to carry on getting rid of the deadwood, just carry on getting rid of the players, like Phil Jones. I'd like to see the lad Williams go out on loan. I think Dan James will be off soon. He's not a United player. Dan James is a pace merchant. But other than that, I'm quite happy. 9 out of 10. Do you know what? No, 10. I'm giving it 10. 10. It's a 10. I'm having it 10. No, it's a 9. A 9 from me.
No, Dan, I appreciate you coming on, mate. I will definitely have to do something this season when we play you or whenever, but brilliant.
Not a chance, mate. And Arsenal always seem to have our number, so not a chance, mate. See you later, guys.
Take care, mate.
See you, mate. Speak soon.
Bye-bye.
Chris, I want to ask you one question because I've got quite a few guys in the background there. I want to ask you, if someone has said to you 16, 17 games in with Villa, you'd be 8th position. I think is it 26 points? I think it is. Would you have taken that?
Yeah, 100%. Because I think with 8 games to go last season, we were on 27 points. So it's a massive difference. I think we were on 27 points at the start of Project Restart.
Yeah,
and obviously we came back. I think we were 18th in the league, and at the time we seemed like we were dead certs for relegation, and the results weren't great, and we had a miraculous recovery the last 4 games. But 100%, it would just a lot of people, obviously, I think at the moment, because we're doing quite well, we've got 2 games in hand as well, that people would possibly expect to maybe want a bit more. But to be 8th, to finish anywhere around 8th would be fantastic, especially the way it was last season. I'd snatch your hand off for that. And if you'd have said it start of the season, I wouldn't have believed that we'd have been able to do that after 16, 17 games. So it's been brilliant so far.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, quick one more thing before I let you go. I want to get your thoughts on what you've made of Arsenal this season, because there's a lot of argument between Arsenal fans how the club's going forward. But I want to hear from an outsider's point of view. What do you make of what you've seen?
They've been very hit and miss, haven't they? You look at the start of the season and you thought they'd kind of turned a corner. A couple like Willian came in and you thought, oh, okay. And it's just they've obviously the last couple of games they've picked up, but the last couple of months has been tough for Arsenal. I feel like Arteta's been a bit too stubborn.
Yeah,
it's almost like underperforming players, and Willian has probably been one of them. Bellerin as well. You've got some of these underperforming players who are probably big names or more established players that he's been unwilling to drop. And And even though, the likes of Willock, it seems that when he's played, he's performed well. Obviously, Smith Rowe has played well recently. And it's almost like getting in the younger players. They've got the hunger, and and adding them in recently has given them a bit more balance. I just feel like Arteta at times he's been the master of his own downfall at times. I think sometimes he's been a bit too reluctant to change things when it's almost been obvious where they need to change, and it's kind of play rather than trying with the same. For so long it was Willian and Aubameyang on the left with Lacazette for the middle, and it wasn't working, and he was unwilling to change it. And stick your main man through the middle and mix things up, and he's done that a bit more recently, at least mixing things up and getting some of the younger lads through, and the results have come through. But again, when you look at things and you look at it on face value, where Arsenal are on the table, I think they're 3 points behind us. Not saying we've been amazing, but obviously we've been touching distance of the top four. So when you think about things, people would say, "Oh, Arsenal have been terrible," and there have been games where they've been quite poor. But you get a couple of wins on the bounce now. You're back in the mix of things. So I think probably a bit off finishing top four. I don't think it's something that's impossible, because this season's a bit of an odd one. But realistically, the top six would still be in touching distance for you guys, because you've not had a great start and a great season so far. Seems that recently you've turned the corner slightly, and the football's coming back, and there's a bit more to be happy about. And then depending on what happens in the January transfer window, maybe a couple of players will come in. Not sure. So it depends whether the money's there or not. I mean, Ozil's still there, isn't he? And obviously he's on massive wages. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen there? But yeah, you get a few wins on the bounce and you'd be up there, and then I think Arsenal fans would be relatively happy with that, because I suppose you're still in transition, aren't you? Really, with Arteta and I suppose some of the players coming in and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a tough one. I think if people haven't watched enough of Arsenal, I think they'd kind of think, oh yeah, they've been rubbish, but they've just been very up and down, very hit and miss. But I think they still could finish top six.
No, nice one. No, Chris, I appreciate you coming on, mate. Where can the guys find you, mate?
So Villa Together, we're on YouTube. We're on all the usual podcast hosting sites, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We're at Villa Together on Twitter, and we're at Villa Together on Instagram. So give us a follow, like, whatever, if you fancy it. But yeah, thanks for having me on, mate. Anytime.
Thank you. No, I'll catch up with you at some point this season, mate. Definitely.
Yep, definitely. Nice one. Cheers, mate. Speak soon. Take care.
Thanks. Kesh, good to get you in. You timed it well, because we've got some of the Tottenham lads coming in. It should be fun. Gonna add it to the stream now. Here we go. The cousins are in. Here. One more.
How we doing, boys? We good?
Yeah, this is. I had to get Kesh to come on, because me and Ryan a bit outnumbered, so we could just it's good to know what. Banner and rivalry aside, I'm gonna get this out of the way first. This is very painful, but I'm gonna whisper it very, 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 very. Yeah, well done for getting to the final in the Carabao Cup. That's it.
Yeah, thank you, mate. We're happy to be there. Exciting to get to the final of anything.
Yeah. Now, guys, I appreciate you coming on, man. It's been a while since I've seen you guys, because obviously Villa Together got us together to do the greatest ever Premier League side, and I managed to get 3 Arsenal players in, so I was very, very happy, to be honest with you.
And not a single year. We weren't going to be any Spurs players in that, but we're feeling better today.
Can I ask you guys a question and be honest, right? Say if you had lost today, would you have come on the show?
Mate, we won 5-0 and we were still debating it, so don't worry about that.
But guys, yeah, I want to ask you guys a question, because obviously amongst us as Arsenal fans, I know you guys have probably been revving in it, that a lot of Arsenal fans wanted Mourinho quite a while ago. I personally wasn't on board with that. I don't know what Kesh and Ryan's thoughts so quickly. Was you Mourinho was you on board with that or not?
No, I definitely wasn't on board. Reason being is I don't think he would have got the control or the backing that Mourinho would require.
Okay, Ryan, what about you quickly?
Pretty much what Kesh said. I was in the middle. Then I thought about it. I was like, no, do you know what? We need someone of Mourinho ilk that would just literally slap the team in the face and say, no, I'm not satisfied with that, which is what we're missing. But like Kev said, it's what
we're getting rinsed in the
Mourinho
comments.
would want.
Jeez, in the comments.
You know what I mean? But we get
But those are the nice ones, by the way. Sorry.
You don't even know me, chaps. You don't know me. You're horrible. Horrible people coming in out of nowhere. We haven't even spoken yet.
Yeah, but guys, I want to ask you. Yeah, what were your guys? It's a two-part question. What was your thoughts when you got Mourinho in? And secondly, to add on top of that, what have you made of his time at Spurs?
We were different reactions, weren't we? So like, Ollie, what your reaction was? You wanted Mourinho, didn't you? So say like your thing, because I was opposite.
I think it was more of when we sort of sacked Pochettino. It was it felt like a surprise for a lot of other people from the outside looking in. But I think to us it wasn't a massive surprise. I think things weren't right within the club and where it was going. It didn't look like it was going in a good direction. And then when we got Mourinho, it was a bit of a shock really, because I think at the minute we still sort of feel like we're like that little Tottenham team. You know what I mean? And a manager like Mourinho is like, he's the manager, isn't he? He's the top dog. So it felt a bit weird, but yeah, it was a strange time in general, really, when we sort of got Mourinho. But I think overall he's done a good job. I think when he first came in and the results picked up, and then they sort of tailed off again, and then lockdown was obviously really odd. And this season we've started really well.
Okay, cool. Pete, you was opposite, though, weren't you, mate? You were the same sort of view of me, of thinking his style doesn't suit us, similar to what you guys were saying. I didn't think he was going to get money back. I don't think the style was going to suit us. And at first, you could see that if you lose, you don't enjoy it in the slightest. Yeah. But if you win, you can bear it. So, yeah, it's a strange one. Like, don't get me wrong. If I could play beautiful football and have Poch back and win things, then I would prefer that. But if I weren't going to win things under Mourinho, fair enough. Because as the guys are saying below, we're dodging trophies, and we don't want that no more.
Yeah, guys, I wanted to ask you, like, banter aside, right? I know it's going to be very difficult for you Tottenham boys to behave when you're on our chance about Arsenal, but what do you make of what you see of Arsenal this season?
Long may it continue. Hallelujah.
All right, sit on the fence. Go on, sit on the fence.
I think for a club like Arsenal, it's mental that you are having to rely so heavily on youth. I think that can't be. I mean, it's good. It's good for you, like looking to the future. But yesterday, he rested Emile Smith-Rowe, and he had to come on and save you. Like the guy's class. He looks a good prospect, but I don't understand what's happening. Like when he first come in, Arteta, he looked like he sorted you out defensively, and then you can just go and let your attacking players play. I just don't know what's happened. It's really weird. It doesn't seem like everyone thought because he was Pep's disciple, he was going to come in and play that beautiful football of Arsenal, and it just hasn't seemed to be the case. It's weird. But yeah, like Jez says, long may it continue. If you're dropping points for fun, we'll take it, right? We will take it.
I must admit, the guys in the chat, you're being very polite, which is very nice. You want to go free range, just go in now, because I haven't got a month to look.
Let's get a few more Arsenal fans in here as well. Let's get a couple more. Let's get a couple more if we can. You're going to need you need hundreds of them.
I suppose I've got a thought for you boys. What are you boys thinking of Auber at the minute and how he's playing and stuff like that? Because I can't, looking from the outside, he's not looking at all interested.
Before I come to Ryan and Kesh, Curtis, thank you for coming on the show, man. Really appreciate it. Showing a lot of kind words to me, so I appreciate your time, man. I know you're a busy guy, man. So yeah, do you want to take that question about Aubameyang? Like, because before I'll give you a little bit of context, Curtis. With me, like, I play football at a reasonable level when I was a forward. So apart from just goals alone, the two things I always look for is anticipation and movement, and not just Uber, but any combination of our forwards. I think they are static. They don't move. They sometimes don't give the midfield options, regardless of the quality of the midfield. You can question. So yeah, what's your thoughts about Aubameyang, mate?
He's struggling, isn't he? But you know, like certain strikers, some strikers you can just give them the ball and they'll make something happen. They're just built like that. Aubameyang is not one of them strikers, man. You've got to create chances. You've got to move the ball quickly. You know, he's had 5 years in a row. If you look at the 3 years at Dortmund, 2 at Arsenal, where he scored 20 plus goals every year. I don't think you suddenly become a bad striker in 4 weeks over the summer. So I just think the style of football and the way we're playing. You look at the amount of goals we've scored. You know, it's no coincidence that he's struggling. You know, he's 31 as well.
Yeah,
there's going to be some sort of decline at some stage in his career. And like the guy there said, you know, we're relying on young players. I mean, it is good that the young players are playing well, but where are the older players, man? They shouldn't be carrying the team. You know, yesterday it was like, oh, we need Smith Rowe to come on. You know, 3 weeks ago, Smith Rowe hadn't made a Premier League appearance.
Yeah.
So, I do think Aubameyang's struggling a little bit, but I think if you put him in Man City's team or, you know, Liverpool's team, someone who create loads of chances, he would still score goals. I think most strikers would struggle in this Arsenal team at the moment. So I think there's been a little bit of a decline, but he'll still score goals if you create chances for him.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Curtis. Kesh and Ryan, is there anything you want to put to our amazing Tottenham guests before I kick them off nicely?
No, I just wanted to comment on the Aubameyang thing. Like, I don't know about every other Arsenal fan, but for me, I feel he's lost a lot of his pace recently, and I feel like when you see someone play a ball down the line, he's not so electrifying anymore. Where he's beating his man, I feel people are keeping up with him a lot better now. And also, like, the problem with Arsenal is for the last 2 seasons or so, we've not had a system that kind of revolves around the team as 11 per se.
Yeah,
it's always been to play to Aubameyang down the left or play to his strength. But even though we play to his strength, which is to get his pace down the line, we don't exactly play to strength from the midfielders. Like, we're not looking up and slipping balls through for him to run in behind. It's not really like that. So Arsenal need to start being a team that's dependent on other players, because if you look at it, you can't demand a striker to carry you for every season. You know what I mean? Like, he's done it for the last 2 seasons.
Yes, you can, mate. You absolutely can. They would know about that, wouldn't they?
Son and Kane, yeah.
I understand that, but Harry Kane is more of an all-round player. So even if he's not scoring, he can create for someone else. Aubameyang is an all-out goal scorer. That's what he brings to the team.
Yeah, the Tottenham boys, Pete, Ollie, and Jerry. I just wanted to ask if Harry Kane's all right from trying to win that penalty at Wolves. Is he still all right, or has he got up yet?
Yeah, it's a bit tired, but he's a bit
can't come at the best player in the league at the minute. You can try all you want, but you can't come at him.
No, guys, I appreciate you coming. I want to ask you one more thing before I let you go. In terms of transfers for you guys, is there anybody you want out of the door? Would you drive them to the airport because you can't take them in the team anymore? And who do you expect to come in? And what positions would you want someone to come in?
Pete, you go first with the outs because you're the miserable one.
I think I'm hearing so many. Gedson Fernandes can go for a start. Sissoko's turned it around, so I'll let him stay. Who else do I want rid of? Ben Davis, awful.
Oh, God.
Probably Eric Dyer as well. Personally, I'd like to see us go and get a number 10. I'm crying out for us to get, like, sometimes when we're struggling to break teams down, we have, like, Dele plays in a 10, but he's not a passer. He's not. We miss Ericsson when Ericsson was quality. So someone like that, or Ozil when Ozil was quality. That sort of number 10. So I'd like to see us go and get someone who I don't know. I like Buendia, who you've been linked with quite a lot at Norwich. I think he's a good player. I talked about him at the start of the season. Someone should go and get him, but I don't know. That's what I'd go. I think number 10.
Any other thoughts, Tottenham guys, before I let you go?
Centre half, probably, I imagine. Yeah, centre half would be needed because I'm not sure we can trust Alderweireld and Eric Dyer for the whole season.
And you've got Joe Rodon as well in it as well.
Yeah, and Joe Rodon. Yeah, he's not. Unfortunately, he's not proven at all. So he either needs a chance or we get someone else in who's sort of at that sort of high level that we need to sort of sustain being towards the table and whatnot.
Who would you rank the best out of Alderweireld, Dyer, and Sanchez?
Toby all day. Toby's the best centre half we've got, and he is the one you want to keep. He's the oldest, so there's the worry. But like, I'd replace Dyer in a heartbeat. That would be. I don't trust him on the ball. I never trust him. He makes mistakes. He tries things that he's not capable of doing. I like to see a player who understands their limitations, and Dyer doesn't. He thinks, yeah, I'm an absolute baller, and got to pick one that just ain't there.
And you see, when you say that, that's how Jose's system works. Players that play in the natural game. That's how it works.
But Toby can do it. He's got it in the locker, so fair enough. Let him be a quarterback. But Dyer doesn't. So to watch it is just tragic. And just think, just give it to Toby and let him do it. Just let him play the part. But you can't.
Yeah.
Now, guys, I want to thank you for before I let you go. Thank you for coming on. And where can the guys find you to subscribe to your channel, boys?
Go on, Pete. From the
Arsenal podcast. Yeah.
Then Are You Not Entertained on YouTube? We're on Instagram as well. Are You Not Entertained? There's our free platforms.
Yeah,
I'm sure everyone who's watching is going to come and log on to our stuff.
Yeah, we're getting loads of views now, I assume.
That's what I'm thinking. We're just getting ourselves out to get absolutely twatted by horrible Arsenal for no reason.
Negative reviews and all sorts coming out.
No, back to the side now. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it, man. We got you in, I think, is it March, have we? So I'm sure we'll do something around that. Yeah.
Yeah, have a good shout. It'll be good fun.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
But you guys, appreciate you coming on, and I'll see you soon.
Safe journey. Cheers, lads. Take care.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers, boys.
Let me get the guys. Yeah, so it's back now. We've got all the other
get them off the channel. Get them off.
They're funny guys, man. But no, guys, I appreciate you coming on, Curtis. Once again, appreciate you coming on, man. Love your content. Came across brilliantly the other day on Sky Sports. I saw that, man. Well done, man. Seriously, really coming across well.
Nice one, mate. Yeah.
But guys, I want to ask you generally, but Curtis, I want to come to you. You guys might be aware of Henry Winter, who's the chief sports writer of the Times, I think it is. He put a tweet out yesterday after the game about 8 o'clock. Want to get your thoughts on it, and there's a couple of comments on Twitter that I saw that. I think sometimes a problem with sections, and I'm using the keyword sections of the fan base, is give a prime example, and then he starts a few games to start the season, plays well, then contract extension comes out of nowhere. Rob Holding has been inconsistent for to be honest, the majority of his Arsenal career. Has a few rough games, leads out Arsenal against Everton as captain. People lose their shit. Plays a couple of games, plays well. Again, we talk about contract extension, but I'm going to come to Henry Winter, as you guys are not familiar with him. You should be, even if you don't like journalism, but there he is. He tweeted after the game, Smith Rowe and Aubameyang will get the headlines, but Xhaka has been excellent, giving Arsenal more variety and precision with their passing. Great ball to Tilly for Uber goal, almost scored to looks rated. I saw a few comments under that tweet, and there's one I picked out in particular. I'm going to give the guy's name because it's not fair, but Xhaka desperately needed movement in front of him all season. When the players become more static, it kills his natural game, makes him ponder on the ball, and makes him make mistakes. Listen, I'm not a football expert, guys, right? We will have our opinions about football, but I almost fell off my chair when I read that, because to me that insinuates the issue is not the midfield or Xhaka per se. It's other players in the team. Curtis, what do you make of that when you see tweets like that and people, Arsenal fans, saying things like that? They've got very short memories.
Brother, I remember a few weeks ago, Emmanuel Petit done an interview, and he said, Arsenal is a club that if you hide in the shadows long enough, you can stay there for 5 or 6 years and people will just forget about you. And that's what we are like. We've got players at the club who have been rubbish year after year. And as you said, they pop up, they give you 2 or 3 good games and everyone starts raving about them. You know what I mean? And we've ended up with 7, 8 players like that at the club. Like at the top of the club, we've got an owner that doesn't really care. He doesn't really want to win. He wants to make money.
Yeah. And
that's just streamlined throughout the whole football club. And, you know, we are a massive football club, but the reality is we kind of are where we are as a club like right now. I feel like the league never lies. You know, we're mid-table, and I think we look throughout our team. You look at the game against Newcastle. I sat there and I looked at it and I thought, this is the worst Arsenal midfield I've ever seen in my life, ever. El Neni and Joe Willock. And then you bring on Granit Xhaka. I know Xhaka played a good pass to Tierney, but bro, come on. Them man there, some of them man there are championship level players to me, you know.
They lack ideas.
And Xhaka got a new contract under Aston Wenger. He gave him a 4-year extension.
Got a big one, yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, I'm quite harsh with Arsenal. Some people say, you know, you need to lower your ambitions and be realistic about where you are, but I just call it what it is, bro. And these man like Xhaka, El Neni, even some of these young players, bro, Eddie Nketiah, Joe Willock, Reece Nelson, Rob Holding, I would get rid of every single one of them. The problem is, who's going to take them? We saw it in the summer.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of rubbish players on big wages. And you know what I mean? It's not going to happen. It's like going in your wardrobe, you know, you give your rubbish clothes to a charity shop, you can't sell them. Do you know what I mean? No one wants them. And
yeah, but you don't give the clothes a new contract, though. That's the problem.
You know what I mean? Exactly. You don't pull out them clothes, them bootleg jeans from '99. You know what I mean? Times have changed, man. So
it's one of those times like you go through your wardrobe and you think, oh, I should chuck that, but I don't really want to.
Yeah, you're hanging on to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, no, man, we're swarmed in mediocrity right now, bro. You know, look at the players we're being linked with. Do you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to some of these players. Like, they might become good players, but if other clubs need a player, they're looking for a ready-made, proven star that's going to improve. Look what Bruno Fernandes did to Man United. You know, they were 14 points behind Leicester. They signed Bruno. They finished third in the league. We're looking at Buendia. Might be a good player, might not. We don't know. He's in the Championship. We're looking at Brandt, who isn't even getting off the bench at Dortmund. We're looking at Isco, who's put about 3 stone on in the past 2 years. Like, we're moving mad. We're out here looking, you know, the sales section in TK Maxx. We're looking for
and it takes long to go through that, trust me.
And you know them TK Maxx take a long time. You might find the right shirt and it's not in your size. And yeah, man, we're not moving like a big club, bro. Seriously, man. To me, I've said it a long time. Until we force these owners out of the football club, we're never going to achieve nothing major. We won't win no Champions League, no Premier League. You know, Arteta said 3 years to win the Champions League. I'll be surprised if we even qualify in 3 years.
Yeah. And Curtis, and to add on top of that, I'm going to bring in Russ.
Go on.
Part of that is the fan base. I don't expect any football club. I don't expect the fan base to ever totally unite. It's just not going to happen. Living in Clark Cuckoo land. But it should be a lot better than what it is now, because they'd rather blame me for having an opinion, or Russ, or Kesh, or Ryan, or you, rather than look at the bigger picture. You know, for example, in terms of transfer and recruitment, I'm going to come to Russ. Like, who's a player I can pick off the top of my head? Like Basuma, for example. For example, at Brighton. Oh no, he's not good enough. We've got Xhaka. Bellerin's, you know, he's got called up by Spain, or you know. There's always a narrative as to why we can't get someone else to replace these players that have been in the club for a long time. They've had opportunities. So, Russ, when I come to you and talk about the youngsters, actually, a couple in particular, that's Willock and Reece Nelson. Did these guys deserve more chances, or are you at a point where sell them or on loan, or just get what you can for them? Because I think the patience has run out of a lot of some of the Arsenal fan base for these guys.
Well, I think the issue is we've sort of dug ourselves into a hole, really. We need, with Brexit and everything else, it's going to be harder to sort of get sort of younger players in. They've come through the academy, haven't they? So yeah, you'll have some sort of attachment to them. But personally, I don't think they're good enough. They played in the Europa League group stage, which I think is probably their level. They're not going to play. They're not going to start in the league team. Week in, week out. They're good enough to bring on for like 20 minutes off the bench, but it's like Nketiah as well. He's not a starter either. And so I just don't think those guys are good enough. But unfortunately, we've got Brexit's come. It's going to be harder to sign younger players. But we're just going to have to spend big money on the players that we can sign from abroad if we need to. But I'm with you guys. I think we need to start signing players that have played in the Premier League. We've gone far too long without signing players that know how the Premier League works. It's simple, isn't it? Liverpool have done it. They bought like Wijnaldum, they bought Robertson, they bought all these players from lower end Premier League sides, integrated them, and they've won the league, and they've done it really well. They've won the Champions League as well. We just need to start looking at the teams that possibly are going to get relegated and try to snap up their best players. That's the only thing we can do. Wendy is another one. Last season, he was good last season, don't get me wrong, but towards the end of the season when Norwich were down, he sort of gave up. He was like, oh, I can't be bothered with this. I think he got sent off just before, and I think he was suspended for the last 3 games, but they were already down anyway.
Yeah.
But this season in the Championship, he's actually started scoring more goals as well as adding to assists. He's actually been really good. He is their best player. Will they sell him to us? I doubt it, because for 20 million quid? I don't think so, considering they're going to get 100 million quid for getting back into the Premier League. We've got to be smarter, basically. That's what I'm saying. We've got to be a lot smarter in how we sign our players.
Yeah, sorry, Kesh. I'm gonna bring in Russ. I'm gonna be a pain, but where can because I've got one more guy to come in, a Newcastle fan. Where can the guys find you? Because I know you've joined the YouTube world.
Yes, mate. Just find me at Rugby Boy 101, and my YouTube channel is Arsenal Central. Yeah, cheers, mate.
Russ, thanks, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks a lot, man.
Cheers, mate. Kesh, I'm gonna come to you, and Ryan. I'm gonna add John to the screen. John. Thanks. Can you hear me, mate? Thanks for coming in, mate. Thanks for coming last minute.
No, Albert, it's been fantastic. Just I had the chat to Sheffield United support us, so I thought I'd come and join you guys in a minute. So yeah.
No, appreciate it. John, 2 seconds. I'm gonna come to 2 of my Arsenal guys, right? Kesh and Ryan. I want to get Curtis to take on it a little bit as well. 2 words. Nicholas Pepe. Ryan, I'll come to you. Kesh, I'm gonna come to you, mate. What did you make of his performance yesterday? Because I saw it was quite varied in terms of what some Arsenal fans saw and what he actually delivered yesterday.
Quite frankly, it was very underwhelming. I feel he's come out into this game with a bit of selfishness. I think he's looked at the likes of Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe and looked at, I think, bro, these lads are actually outshining me. And he's gone into this game and played for himself. There was so many opportunities. He could have just done the simple thing, lay it off, cut it back. He could have got assists. He could have had like 3 assists yesterday. But he was trying to make the game all about him and take the limelight. And it backfired against him, because what you've seen with the likes of him and Willian, they've got their opportunity to come in now and put in a performance to put their name in the manager's head. Like, okay, these guys are trying to impress me, you know? And they totally failed. Emil Smith-Rowe is making Willian look embarrassing. Saka is making Pepe look embarrassing. How long can we put up and say he needs another year? Oh, he needs 5 games consecutively. I've played football. Like, you don't need 5 games consecutively to start putting in decent enough performance. It's not even like he's playing okay where you can say he's getting there. He's playing terrible. There's nothing that he's showing that's gonna make you think, okay, give this lad a chance. He's gonna come better. I think Arsenal fans need to just hold their hands up and say we got it wrong. But certain people, because they've bigged him up in the past, they don't want to be men and put their pride aside. And that's what I found with Arsenal fans. We do it all the time. I keep saying it.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing that happened when we gave Ozil a contract. We didn't want Ozil, we wanted Sanchez, but we wanted to hide our feelings. So as soon as we heard that Sanchez is going to be a snake, no, it's Ozil we wanted. It's Ozil. He didn't want Ozil. Just be honest with ourselves. Just put it out there.
Ryan, let me get your thoughts quickly on what you felt you saw yesterday with Nicholas Pepe's performance.
I just felt it was just uninspiring. It just felt like the guy was just forcing it a lot. Kesh said it best. I mean, Saka's been out signing him. He is a 19-year-old kid. And I've heard someone come out and say already, like, we spent £72 million on this, and yet the replacement's always been in the academy. It's just, I don't know, man. I've already had my gripes with Pepe. I've said we should just bin him off. I don't really see anything. We've had, Unai Emery, Freddie Ljungberg, if you want to throw him in there, even if it was temp, and Arteta, and it's just been the same problems. There's something going on in training where it's just like, why he's not getting picked consistently if we want to go on that 5-game thing, you know. But it's just, I just don't see it with him. He just looks lazy. Just looks like he can't be bothered half the time, and I don't know. It just, like I said, it just felt like it needed to be all about him yesterday. But I don't know why we just. And look, I will say this again. I've said it before. I don't know why we didn't look at Zaha. Experience in the Premier League, and you know, some people might have their thoughts about him X, Y, and Z. But someone played in the Premier League. We took a chance from someone that's had probably one good season in League 1, and we thought, okay, let's bend over backwards, pay 72 mil. How stupid do we look right now? I mean, there's some Pepe fans that can't admit it, that, you know, he's not very good enough. He's not good enough for what we need. And now we kind of got in this system now. It just looks like Saka's there now. Martinelli hopefully gets well soon. All these other players are kind of in front of him, and it's like, why did we bother? So, you know, like I said, when it gets to the summer, I hope they actually make the decision. I think Mikel Arteta is probably thinking about that as well. But yeah. He's just got to go from there.
I appreciate it. Curtis, I don't know how long you've got, man. I'm gonna ask you a couple of things. I'm gonna let you go. Now you need some rest, man, and get some food in you, or something. I don't know. I appreciate you coming over. But Curtis, I want to ask you your thoughts. Two things, like a loaded question, but like your thoughts on Pepe. Just like with me, a little bit of context. You know, we had the last international break, and then we had Leeds, and then Pepe's come out and said what he said. It wasn't a bad thing. What he said, look, I want to be given more opportunities. He gets sent off when he does play. One thing I criticized him last season is that he sells a man a dream once, twice, 3, 4 times. Have a bloody shot at goal. You're getting yourself into position, shoot, pull the trigger, do something. But yeah, what did you make of his performance yesterday, and just your thoughts about him generally, his time at Arsenal?
I mean, yesterday, I think the only thing I liked about it is he tries to make things happen, but, you know, he doesn't produce more often than not. And that's the problem. I think my biggest problem with Pepe is if you're buying a player for 72 million, do your homework on the guy's mentality and what he's like. Because every time I watch Pepe, I see a guy who just goes through the motions.
Yeah.
You look at the best wingers in the Premier League, Salah, Sterling, Son, you know, Mane. They're killers. They rip fullbacks apart. You know, every time they're running at them, they're trying to make something happen. They deliver end product. With Pepe, like you said there, Ryan, you know, when's he going to shoot? When's he going to give us something at the end of that run? Yeah. And it's like, you know, I think the problem with him, I think we're stuck with him. And I'll tell you why, because he's got 3 years left on his deal in the summer. He's on 120 grand a week. How much is he worth in this market? 30 million, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't think Arsenal would accept 30 million. There's rumours that Arsenal wanted 30 million for Eddie Nketiah from West Ham. They're not going to take 30 million for Nicolas Pepe when they spent 72 million on him. So I think we're going to be stuck with him for another year. But again, as Ryan said, you know, for me all day long, we should have signed Zaha. I've got a few mutual friends who know him, and, you know, he was desperate to sign for us. I think the problem was Palace wanted about 50 million up front. Obviously, the whole deal would have been about 70, 80 million.
Yeah,
we're a little, obviously, you know, buy now, pay later business with Nicolas Pepe. That worked for us.
Cash converters, yeah.
You know what I mean? Some cash converters. So, listen, man, we've got a problem. We got a big problem on our hands, man. You know, because I don't see who's going to buy him. I don't see who will take him. So
the thing is, I think it is possible to get rid of a Pepe. It's just a matter of how much you're willing to subsidize off his wages. Like, listen, we've already taken the L, innit? You can't get any bigger. So you have to, like, even with look at the way we're moving out, the likes of Kolasinac and guys like that now, because now we're willing to subsidize their wages, but we should have really done that in the summer in the first place.
Yeah,
like just Arsenal, they always trying to make back this. Look, even if it's like 2-0, they want to make it back. Just take the L and move on. The quicker we do these things, the quicker we can move on. Like, I don't know, guys. I know you're a striker, yeah. There was an opportunity yesterday where he came in on his left, but then he checked back in on his right. But I'm thinking, you never shoot with your right foot anyway. So what was the point of you going on your right?
100%.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Done it too many times.
He does it all the time, bruv. Like when Mahrez gets on that left foot, the shot's getting let off. So Salah as well. And the mad thing with Arsenal, like when you sign a player, you're supposed to have an escape plan in your mind if that signing doesn't work. West Ham paid 40 million for Palace. He's had a shocking season. They've got him out the door for 25 million. They got most of their money back. You know what I'm saying? We end up where these players, they just run down their contract. We can't get rid of them. And in the end, they leave for free. Look how many players have left Arsenal on free transfers. And we got 4 more going to do that this summer as well. Ozil, Luiz, Mustafi, all this Socrates, all these men. So there never seems to be a plan in place. But Pepe, it's hard to defend Pepe still. I tried, but
it's hard.
I can't defend him no more, man.
On the Ala deal, like what it is because I think they bought him for like 40 or something like that, but they paid like 20 something of it up front. So the money that they're receiving from Ajax now, they're gonna pay the rest of that deal off.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be against Arsenal getting 30 to 35 to 40 mil for Pepe and paying off Lille, saying that's it. Man.
Yeah, Curtis. Before I let you go, I just want to quickly ask you. I'm never happy to talk about transfers at Arsenal. Summer, winter, whatever time of the year it is. I'm sick of it, bro. But do you think realistically, we know we want players to go out and understand that, but in isolation, do you realistically think we will get anyone in January?
I think we'll probably get one on loan at the end of the window. I don't think we'll sign anyone for money. It will be Brandt or we're being linked with Draxler, them kind of mad. We'll get someone on loan, I think. We ain't making no major signing this month. Yeah. No chance.
Don't you think that's the best option though? Because I know, for me, I've been having these discussions on stream about Buendia, and I'm saying 25 is a fair price, But I don't feel Buendia is going to be an influential figure like the likes of Bruno. So I don't feel you should go and put 40 million in when come the summer you're going to have better options out there.
Yeah.
Like a Grealish. If Man United don't go into Grealish in the summer, if you say you got any ounce of ambition about you, the club, Arsenal,
you go and get him.
Lay that money down.
Go and get him. Yeah,
try it at least. Just try it. Even if they say no.
Yeah, I would probably Buendia. I don't think they would even sell him for 25.
No, they're asking for 40. Curtis.
40, isn't it?
40. No chance I would buy him for 40. So I would wait. I think we're better off just take someone on loan just to help the squad and buy a proper midfielder in the summer.
Now, Curtis, appreciate. I'm gonna let you go, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. Definitely at some point. I know you're a busy guy, but yeah, hopefully we'll collaborate again sometime this season, mate.
Yeah, man. Big up you, man. Take care.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it,
bro. Yeah, John. Thanks for being patient, mate. Sorry. Yeah, I put the call out quite late, but I appreciate it because I wanted to get your perspective on obviously the game yesterday. Before I come to you guys, if you haven't, go and subscribe to Curtis Shaw TV, please. Great content, very balanced, but can be forthright in his views as well. So go and check him out. But John, Newcastle. I've said this to my fellow gooners with Kesh and Ryan and other gooners. When I watch football clubs and I watch Newcastle, I absolutely feel for you guys watching the football you watch. It's a hard watch, man. What I want to ask you, what did you make of the game yesterday? I'll give you a bit of context because I think Newcastle had 2 shots on target and no shots in extra time at all. What did you make of their performance yesterday, mate?
Albert, we've been absolutely awful last season, to be honest with you. When you got a manager Steve Bruce, right? I mean, he's not an attacking manager, he's a defensive manager. He plays a 5-4-1. He plays, when he plays top teams, it's just plays a defensive 5-4-1. We're just not having a go at teams. You just said it there, it's a tough watch. You're absolutely right. We're just absolutely poor. As a Newcastle fan, I'm just absolutely upset about the way we play. And it's so passive. It's just no going forward. It's backwards, sideways all the time. It's the example, and I spoke to a lad earlier on. We had a throw in deep into the half, right? Yeah. Against Chelsea, right? In set chances. 20 yards for no goal. The phone came in and we played all the way back to Cardalo, right? Yeah. And I tell you what, as Newcastle last season, great times with Kevin Keegan, Bobby Robson, even Rafa Benitez. I know Rafa wasn't a sexy manager, but he gave us hope. But unfortunately, under this manager, I'll tell you something, he's going to take us down. We got Sheffield United on Tuesday. If we lose that game, then there's problems. But actually, you're not sacking because he's quite happy finishing 17th place. He doesn't care the style of play, but he's happy finishing 17th. But we as Newcastle fans, across any Newcastle fans, they are not happy with the way they're playing.
Yeah, John, I want to ask you as well. I don't know. I'll let Ryan on Kesh if you've got any questions in regards to like Newcastle. But what I want to ask is, does Steve Bruce have a better group of players than Rafa did when he was manager? Because I think you have a better squad of players that should be playing a lot better than what Newcastle was showing at this time. Do you agree with that, or do you think that's unfair?
No, mate, I agree with you 100%. I mean, in the summer, we bought Jamal Lewis from Norwich, Callum Wilson from Bournemouth, and we've got Jeff Hendricks. For me, he's complete and utter waste of time. But we got attacking. Is this guy? Honestly, I don't know what he brings to the table. I really don't.
Yeah.
But we have got good players in Newcastle. We've got Almiron could play as a number 10, but he's been messed about by Bruce Bird playing the left side, right side, and was left back. Ryan Fraser, he never gets injured from Bournemouth, but he's been seen picking his games. And Jamal Lewis, he's been told not to go across the halfway line by Bruce. But under Farker, he goes 4%. But the biggest problem we got in Newcastle is Joe Linton, right? He cost us £40 million, right? 3 goals in 55 games. And this is the reason why Rafa did not want him. That's why he walked, because he did not want Joe Linton. Mike Ashley said to him, we're getting him. Rafa said, no, he's not worth the money, maybe worth about 20. But Ashley went ahead and paid that for. And the reason he paid £40 million is to tell Rafa Benitez we can compete in Spain when we need this. You're talking about Nicolas Pepe, right? Being not good enough, right? Yeah. They pay, £72 million for him, right? We pay £40 million for him. Whoever done the homework on Joe Linton should be sacked.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Ashley won't do that, but he is shocking. Absolutely poor. I'll give him 2 out of 10 today on my player ratings. 2 out of 10. And then Newcastle fans thinking, and some of our fans, right, most of them are just so deluded, right, thinking that Joe Linton say, it's a playing in there, it's a playing in there. Yeah, I have not seen that playing in there at all whatsoever. And another thing is Joe Linton. It's shooting and his heading ability is weak. Very weak.
Yeah.
But if Callum Wilson gets injured at any stage, we are absolutely knackered. Andy Carroll, he will try all day long. Dwight Gale's injury prone, Carroll's injury prone, and Joe Linton ain't good enough for Newcastle. And I'm sorry, but we're 8 points clear at the minute for relegation zone at the minute. Yeah. And we've got to play Brighton, Burnley, West Brom, Sheffield United on Tuesday, and Fulham. They're all below us, and we've got to play away to them. We lose those games, we'll be relegated.
Wow. Thanks, John. I'm going to come back to you again, mate. Kesh, Ryan, is there anything you wanted to add on what you've heard of that? Kesh, I wanted to get your thoughts, obviously, about the game yesterday, mate. Yeah, in 2 parts. What did you make of the first half? And was the second half even any much better?
The first half, I felt we found it hard to break them down, but I'm not surprised. I went into that game expecting that because I knew what we was going to see was a reminiscent of before the likes of Smith Rowe came in and Saka being shifted to the right. It's just like when we played West Brom and guys were saying, why isn't Saka getting rested just like Martinelli? I said, you can't rest both of them at the same time because what you're going to get is a team that lacks any sort of creativity or ideas, and we're going to be relying on our fullbacks to produce all the chances. And that's exactly what you saw yesterday from Tierney creating chances. Obviously, Cedric didn't play that well, but everything was coming from Tierney. We could have actually got a few goals in the first, say, 35 minutes if it wasn't for better composure and better decision making. But as I said, there were certain people on the field that was playing for themselves, and there were certain people who just they lack the drive. Like Willian, I think he lacks the drive and the motivation to play at this level anymore. Then what you saw is Smith Rowe came in, and you saw the little pockets of spaces that he was picking up in the final third. Because in order to break a opponent down, someone needs to be occupying those spaces to actually worry the defenders or the people that's sitting in the low block in midfield. And in the first half, there was no one doing that. So when you saw Smith Rowe came on, you saw the game became a bit more free flowing. Half time then came, and I felt Newcastle sensed they sensed blood, and they thought, we can actually go at them a bit more now. And they done that. They actually done that. They created chances.
That big
Andy
chance.
Carroll, I think he had like 2 chances that he should have done a lot better with. Then you saw the likes of, obviously, Willock. You know what I've said when people were saying we should play Willock with El Neni. I said Willock should never ever play in a double pivot. If you're gonna play Willock in a midfield, he has to play as a free. And the reason why you play him as a free is because he can carry the ball. That's his best thing that he can do. He can carry the ball. But in a 2 with El Neni, there's no ideas. He doesn't think about his next move before he receives the ball. Every time he gets the ball, what you see him tend to do is he takes 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, because he hasn't thought about his next move. He ain't processing it. And the reason why he lacks that fundamental is because he's not playing enough games. Like Willock should have been out on loan. He should have had at least 2 loan spells under his belt already. So he's behind in his development. And
Kesh, that's a mad thing. From sure this is definite. He's not been out on loan at Arsenal.
He's not been out on loan.
That's crazy.
So obviously those fundamental things. Obviously you can get away with things. Willock can get away with that in under 21. Yeah. You can get away with that, but the game is at a different pace. You're going to get closed down, so you're going to end up taking 3 touches because you don't know, you ain't been in that situation enough to learn from it. It's the same with when Nelson got that chance in the box. He took a touch. If that was under 21 football, he would have scored there because he wouldn't have been closed down quick enough. You're playing against a Premier League opposition.
First time.
You have to hit that first time there.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Then what you saw is Arteta introduced the likes of Saka, Xhaka. For me, Xhaka, I don't like the guy. I think he's poor. I don't care about his recent performances, but credit where credit's due, though, isn't it? You can only do what you can do. But what you saw with him is he started to speed it up a bit, and that's not something that he's known for. He's normally very laxy-daisy and everything, but he started to get us playing a bit more. And even when he was doing that, Newcastle was still in the game because, as I said, we gave them the initiative to believe that they can get something out of that game. Luckily enough, a good bit of interchange from the likes of Saka, Smith Rowe, and Lacazette. It's the same combination that's been winning us games over the last 3 games. And it's a telling fact that these youngsters are coming in and they're offering more than the more expensive players. And for me, that's a real shame because you can't have a 72 mil player being a squad player. It just can't work out. So we're going to have to find a solution, whether we're going to just decide to take the L and get a bit of money back and move on, which I think that's the right thing to do. Because what should have happened is you had Rosanelli and Edu coming in. One's a director of football. It should have been identified that you've got a talent like Saka in the ranks coming through, which then should suggest that you shouldn't go and overspend on a winger. You go and get a winger who's good enough for like 50 mil per se, and who's going to come in and is going to put in performances, and they can share that role. Him and Saka can share that role, and we didn't do that.
Yeah. Right, let me go. Ryan, before I come to, I'm going to come to John. I'll let you go. I'm going to ask you a couple of things before I let you go, mate. Thanks for coming on. You've been patient as well. Good to get your insight as well. Firstly, in terms of transfers, maybe outgoings or incomings, who would you like to see leave the door immediately? And if you do need to strengthen, what areas of the team do you think Newcastle are lacking, mate?
I'd love to get Jeffrey Williams back from Eintracht Frankfurt. When he came to us on loan last season, the first 5 months, he was absolutely fantastic. But he had a horrible injury and he was out for the season and had to go back to Germany. But I'd love to see him back. We definitely need a couple midfielders, definitely, because we need a creativity midfielder, definitely. Someone can create for Cameron Wilson. Yeah. And we definitely need legs as well. We're after this lad called, I can't remember his name, it's Zamari from Lille. And,
from Lille.
And he's a cracking player, and £35 million, and he just didn't want to call him at the time. And you can see why. Just for me, the biggest problem in Newcastle at the minute is Steve Bruce and the style of play. Are they going to come here that plays attacking football to come to our club.
Yeah.
That plays ball and football, and that's another thing. But we definitely need another striker as well. But I mentioned about 4 positions there, but I don't know. But I hope we get someone in. It's got to be loan deals, definitely. I don't be a cash buy. It'll definitely be loan deals, if anything. And Steve Bruce have to do better than last season's because 2 of the players, like Daniel Rose, wasn't good enough. Ben Tillett wasn't good enough. They both played for Spurs, by the way. And I will keep quiet. and my guy Lazaro played. He was on loan from Inter to come to us, but he's gone back to Germany and played for Mönchengladbach, and he's doing good things there. So we definitely 100% need midfield players and a left back.
I see you being linked with.
Sorry. One more. I'm gonna let John go. One more thing. I just want to get your thoughts. Because I like to ask fans what they sort of make of Arsenal, what you've seen as someone that's not associated with the club, John. So, yeah, what have you made of Arsenal this season, mate?
I think you've been quite up and down, to be honest with you. I mean, you did have a good start to the season. I mean, I think you lost something like 1-4, lost 4, something like that. Yeah. Your home form's been terrible at the minute. And you got some cracking players there in a minute. I mean, Bellerin has been a problem at the minute. And
maybe longer than that, mate.
A minute, you know.
He's longer than that. Imagine this guy a Bellerin because he's more interested in that than being an Arsenal player. But I mean, Xhaka, listen, the fans are split with this guy. I still think he's a good player, but it's hard on him in the minute. But the one guy I do like to be our team, and that's Saka. I think he is going to be absolutely amazing. And please, guys, look after him. Yeah, he's going to be fantastic. I like the guy. And one guy I like as well is Guarantini. He should be your captain. He should be your captain.
No, John, you know, that's what I like to get. Kesh and Ryan agree with me. That's what I like to hear from other fans at other clubs about our club, because when we talk about Arsenal amongst us, I mean, me, Kesh and Ryan are on the same wavelength. Yeah, we might disagree or whatever certain things, but more or less on the same wavelength. But with the sort of Twitter world and Instagram world, it is absolutely mayhem, and it's a week to week basis. But John, now I want to thank you for coming on, mate. I appreciate
hold
your time.
Just 1 second before you let him go. You're being linked with the likes of Lingard and Phil Jones. What's your take on that?
Yeah.
Phil Jones. I'd rather have Tom, to be honest with you. I really want to have Tom Jones. He's got more. Oh my God. It's just the thing, right? We're going on to players who are either injured, right, or haven't played for a couple of years, and they're using our club as a pre-season training exercise. Yeah, we don't want that.
Oh God! That's brilliant.
Man United players, remember Gabriel Overton?
Gabriel Overton.
Yeah. United, isn't it?
John, before I let you go, where can the guys find you, my friend, on social media?
Find us, on John Sinclair. But I've only just started on the channel, but I'm kind of a bit nervous. But I will work on it, and I'll get it right. But please subscribe to us. On the John Sinclair, they kind of find us for NUFC, and that come up. And I'll be another live watch along again on Tuesday with my guy James Sharkey. He's a Newcastle fan, so we're doing it together. So check out things. I'll check you guys out.
Now, John, respect for coming on last minute. I appreciate you being patient because you're coming on another fan channel. But what I'll do is I'll copy you in, mate, and I'll tweet when we've done this, finish this live stream. So, but much love, brother, and hopefully Newcastle will stay up, mate.
Well, I hope we do, man. Fingers crossed. And much love to you guys too. Thanks for bringing us on. And let's hope we get top 4 next season.
Cheers, Gov. John, thanks, mate. Much love. Cheers, man.
See you, man. Take care.
Cheers, man. So,
cheers, Gov. Oh, what's going on there? Yeah, sorry. So yeah, Kesh and Ryan, guys, it's been action packed, man. We had an interesting so-called Liverpool fan coming earlier, but anyways, guys, I'm gonna but it's all good. What do you expect? YouTuber, anything's possible. Yeah, but Ryan and Kesh, I'm going to ask you one more thing before we wrap up. We have some. I'm not going to go into too far down the fixture list, but I will look at our next two games, which are obviously Arsenal home to Crystal Palace, and then followed by Newcastle, Arsenal versus Newcastle. Both home games, both 8 o'clock kickoffs. Starting with Kesh. Out of 6 points, mate, what is the return going to be?
Yeah. For me, 4 points is minimum. 4 points is minimum.
100%.
Well,
100%.
Ideally, you know, like we
six.
should. It's hard to say because
hard.
obviously, you have to look at how we've been playing. I know we've won the last 3 Premier League games, but at the same time, Palace has always been a hard fixture for us over the last few years. And depending on what team goes out in that game and how we turn up, yes, I believe we can win. But obviously, injuries or some team selection will play a part in the result.
Yeah.
So
you're saying
I'll take 4 points.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of, when I saw the sort of fixtures after the cup game yesterday, I sort of looked at the next 2 league games. I thought, you know what? I think ideally 6 points out of 6 would be fantastic. But looking at it, with the way Palace set up away from home, got players to hurt you. I would say 4 points out of 6. I actually think we'll draw against Palace, but I think we'll beat Newcastle. But with the Newcastle game, I don't think that's going to be a pleasant watch like it was yesterday as well. Right, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to finish up with you, my friend. What are you saying about the next 2 Premier League games, mate? What's your thoughts in terms of points return?
4. I honestly feel, and the only reason why I say 4, I'd like it to be 6, but I'm not getting carried away with the whole wins in a row stuff because I've seen this before in Arsenal in the past.
Yeah.
2 times for us to be like, oh yeah, but when I really won, maybe and look, do you know what I mean? So for me, 4. Crystal Palace, I've always said, have been our bogey team. We haven't beaten them in quite a while. Let's be honest. When was the last time we beat Crystal Palace? I can't remember.
God.
I'm not even. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Newcastle, if it's gonna stink the place out like it did yesterday, boy, I think we should nick a couple of goals, especially if we start Smith Rowe and Saka. I don't want Pepe anywhere near that starting 11 for that game, 100%. And Willian as well. Take his trash bag, Chelsea reject us on the bench. All right, simple as that. But my thing is Palace. That's what we need to look out for because again, Wilfried Zaha will be on to us in terms of why didn't you sign me? I'm going to show you why he didn't sign me and why he should have signed me. Eze as well, he's been class. Another Arsenal reject. I mean, shit, it's all written in the stars.
Yeah, but, he was very young at the time. I'll give him a bit of a blow. But go on, that's fine.
I know. And besides, he could have. The thing is, we might have not seen the Eze that we're seeing in Palace. At Arsenal now, if it's
I understand that.
It's the same as Harry Kane, though. Same as Harry Kane. Like he even said it himself. He said the release of Arsenal spurred him on to go and beat Bell. So you can't look at Evie's play and think, oh, they would have been like that Arsenal. Because remember, there's so many players playing for a chance. Not all of them are guaranteed to make it.
Exactly. You know, I think because he supports Arsenal as well, that made it hurt. So it's like I need to put the dagger in Arsenal when I get a chance to play them, and that's his mentality when he plays against us in the North London. Guaranteed, he thinks about it every single time. It's the North London derby coming up because he's been a fan. He knows what he's like. I'm gonna bury it. That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
you know.
No, guys, we've got through. I said hour and 43 minutes. Kesh, thanks for being patient, mate. I knew a lot of people would come in the stream. I wasn't sure about a couple of people coming in. I've put the guys that came on tonight. I've put their Twitter handles along the screen. Obviously, RJ Wills is there. He's right there on the screen anyway. Villa together. Thank you. Enter Canes. John coming in last minute. Kendall, I'm sure we'll meet at some point again. And thank you for letting me notice beforehand. Tade, my African brother, thank you again. Curtis Shaw, massive shout out to you for coming on, mate. I know you're a busy guy. Ryan, thank you for being my anchor, man. A lot of talking to get through. But guys, like I said, when I did my channel, as much as I love Arsenal, I like to spread out to the wider football community. Maybe these are guys that if you've got YouTube channels you want to collab with, they're good guys, man. They're just trying to join the sort of community ladder. But Kesh, where can the guys find you, my friend?
I can't remember it. I've changed it.
I've got it on the screen. I've got it on the screen.
No, I've changed it.
For Christ's sake, Kesh.
It's _Kesh _.
Oh, I tell you what, I'll tag you. I'll tag you on Twitter anyway. But Ryan, big shout out to you, man. You got to meet some new guys as well. Great views from the other guys. Their thoughts on Arsenal, because sometimes I like to take a back seat and hear what they say. Yeah, great stream. Great to get the guys on. Guys, smash the like button. Thank you to the guys in the chat. Much appreciated. Loads of you in there. Great comments. I hope the Liverpool fan got his 5 minutes of fame. But
Screen mask as well. Oh my God.
But no, guys, I appreciate the comments and subscribe to the channel. As you can see, Albert J TV. My Twitter handle's on the screen. Yeah, guys, that is me, Albert J TV, over and out. Hashtag Albert Talks Podcast. It is time to move on to Crystal Palace. Come on, the Gunners.
Thank you.